Well, we have had a crazy weekend. You will possibly see on the next video, which will be the vlog, which we didn't get our usual video out because of what we've been doing this weekend. We've been hosting a party for tons of people. Didn't get loads of footage of the party or anything like that, just from a privacy point of view of the people, but it did mean that everything was upside down from a routine point of view for us. So I'm going to finally get in the greenhouse, get that watered, because I didn't get it watered yesterday and it has been boiling hot all weekend, and we're going to have a look around and see how the garden is looking now that we're hoping to get a little bit of normality back. So the first thing I'm going to do is get all of these tomatoes watered. These ones in the tubs that don't have the trays underneath need watering more than the others, obviously. Look, some of the cucumbers are coming on absolutely fantastic. We've been eating these sort of size gherkins from here. They are yellowing a little bit, so I'm going to give them a feed. But the reason that there's none on is because we've literally, cheeky one, missed that. I think that looks like a crystal. Yeah, it's a crystal apple. They're really nice. I'm going to pick that. And this is the reason why there's none on, because we've been having these in salads every day, really, living off them, enjoying those. But what I wanted to show you when I said about the story of the greenhouse. So every bean that I've planted in here that was supposed to be can you guess, a bush bean, a small bush bean, has turned into a climbing bean. So I've not only got my tomatoes growing at the back that are doing really well. I'm really pleased with those. You can see there's a few that are just ripening. There's one here I've been keeping my eye on. Yeah, so they've not only got the tomatoes that are at the back ripening nicely and growing and behaving themselves for the most part, except for this one here. We've got climbing beans, which were not the intention. So I've got a load that are ready to pick, and we will be eating these, well, pretty much every night this week, fresh. And well, not just this week, but until they're done. I've also got jalapenos. Can you see? There's one there. There's some on this plant here that are coming along really nicely. So I'm going to get all of these watered. But that was the story of the greenhouse. I thought it was bush beans. It's turned out to be climbing beans. It's a complete jungle. And little update for you, the hedgehog that we showed in one of the last videos was found here. There's actually two in the end, two baby hedgehogs, so they have both gone off to the sanctuary now. Best hands that there could be for them, because hedgehogs are actually, I think they're endangered here, or they're certainly on a list where we need to take care of them. So those guys have gone off. And then I found a mouse in here, so this little trap here seems to be catching things this year. Anyway, I'm going to be getting on and get all of this watered because the heat is turning up already. That looks a little bit better. Excuse the flood. I tried to spray it off, and it seems that there's a bit of a dip in the ground there. Anyway, that will evaporate in no time. I've tidied all the beans up because I noticed that there was some, and still is, a little bit yellowing. So I've just whipped off the ones that were the most obvious, and then kind of stood them up and fastened them up the poles best I can. And that's exposed, obviously, these leaves underneath. Which needed tidying up, so I've gone round and done those best I can. Now this plant here, which is in between the purple ones, seems to be behaving and being a bit of a bush bean rather than climbing as high as the purple. So the purple are the royal burgundy, but you can see like this high are definitely climbing. Anyway, I'm questioning myself though, because the ones along here that I thought were climbing, and you can see this is sort of the height. The bush beans grow that tall. I mean, that's a good 2 or 3 foot. Ones I've known have been quite compact, but maybe I've just grown compact varieties before. Anyway, I've kind of tried to push them all back onto the bed so that I can get in and water. Can you see where it's dry around here? Where I've already watered. Obviously no water's got in there, so I'm going to pick the hose pipe up and get that watered too. These watered. And then hopefully that'll do them for a couple of days. Now the greenhouse over there is taken care of. This bed I'm just quickly going to show you, because I think it was Julie noticed that the leaves on this guy here, if you look at the shape of those, are different to that one there, and they're all supposed to be the same. Now I've noticed this one here also has the same shape leaves as this. And this oh my goodness me, has thrown off some massive squash. I'm going to get in there actually because I've just seen one that's a little bit mouldy, so I don't want it moulding the rest. I've no idea what variety this is because I took all of these out of the same packet, baked potato squash, and my worry is that the ones that have got the baked potato squash leaves seem to only be throwing off male flowers, and I don't see any female flowers, i.e. the flowers with the little buds behind them, in this bed at all on last investigation. So I'm a bit worried that all I'm going to be getting is a really pretty bed full of male flowers. I'm not sure why. I know that they throw the male ones off first to kind of go and test things to see how it is. So maybe it's saying that it's not very nice out here, too dry. I notice there's some bindweed by the look of it in there as well, so I'll get that. Yeah, a little bit worrying because this is my favourite crop, absolutely favourite crop. I think possibly it's to do with how dry it's been as well, because these beds don't get watered. It's just they don't get watered every day. They do get watered every so often, but it's whatever they can get from the ground underneath. So we will see to see how the season goes on for those. But things are looking really good that we've got in, and it's time to think about getting in the seeds direct zone for winter. So I've got a good few of those that I'm going to get in. But first of all, I need to work in the distance and get those peas under control because they've been left to run riot, and in true pea style they've gone all over the place. So the shade will come on over there very soon. So when I'm finished doing the bits and pieces that I need to get done here, I'm going to sit and get those peas tied up as best I can. So me and the resident pigeon, which you might be able to hear, trying to get these peas tied up. So they literally, as you can see, just have been growing a bit wild, and what I'm doing is just bringing them through to where the roots are and just trying to kind of tie them up best I can. These ones are almost done in terms of getting those as high as they're going to go. I think, what's that, maybe 5 foot so far. And these ones here, some of them didn't germinate, and then some of them germinated in massive clumps, but there's quite a few that are ready for harvesting. So what I'm going to have to do as well is, before I tie the rest of these up, and obviously then it's going to be extra weight on the string, I'm going to harvest them first and then get the next layer sort of tied up, just so that we're not fighting against ourselves. There's quite a few. There's more sweet peas over here, obviously not edible. There's some Greek gigantes and runner beans, all kinds of different types of sweet peas. So the ones that have gone too far, they will go to the pigs. The pigs will absolutely love those, and the ones that haven't will go in our freezers, or even better, be eaten straight away. I'm also grabbing the courgettes. There's the biggest one on this plant here is perfect for our size. There's 2 on here that will go for the pigs because they've just gone to marrow size, and there was one on the plant that I've just showed you. Again, pigs are more than happy for those, and it doesn't worry me or bother me that they've gone too big, because the idea is that we're growing for the pigs and all the other animals too. And I think there's 2 on this plant too, so 2 on each plant. It's so much cooler now. Thankfully it is 8:30, so it's much more pleasant to working, because it's been getting far too hot. So what I've done is these down here, I've started taking off the heavier peas, and I'm just basically going to come back through and take off the ones that are ready. Not all of them are, so some of them are kind of, you can see that's really swollen and ready, and some of them not that one. And let me find you another, pick that one, find another example. So that looks ready to look at, but when you feel it, the peas are still forming inside. They're not that like there. There's quite a bit of give left in that shell. So they'll be ready in literally a day or 2, but you can see that's like probably super big inside, maybe a little bit too far gone. Same as that one. Oh, can't do this with my left hand. Anyway, I'll go through and pick the majority of these, but not all of them, because some of them are probably over the next day or so, and to be honest, it's going to take me forever anyway. I'm also grabbing the courgettes. There's the biggest one on this plant here is perfect for our size. There's 2 on here that will go for the pigs because they've just gone to marrow size, and there was one on the plant that I've just showed you. Again, pigs are more than happy for those, and it doesn't worry me or bother me that they've gone too big, because the idea is that we're growing for the pigs and all the other animals too. And I think there's 2 on this plant too, so 2 on each plant. Teamwork, guys. Teamwork. This is what summer's all about. Absolutely glorious. Give me this temperature on an evening instead of the raging hot temperatures during the day, any day. Looking good on the tomato front. I think we'll be eating these more regularly now. We're getting second cuttings of broccoli coming through. And take that one, that's the second cutting as well. You can see, this one's probably a good example because I can reach in where the original stalk was cut. And then these are the second cuttings that we'll literally be picking and eating. These the first ones all went into the freezer. I think these are cabbages. Definitely cabbages. And then there's more brassicas over there. There's kale and things in that bed. Leeks are in the bed beyond, but we need to get on with the winter sowing. Definitely need to get that done as soon as possible. But look, the tree lilies are starting to come out. Amber's not too happy. Take it off. I have a feeling we might have the tree lily beetles. Looking at some of these. Anyway, there's one over there that's come out, and then one's in front of Stephen's workshop, a pink. You see, that's been nibbled. Is that the beetle? And if so, what can I do about it, please? Yeah, the ones in front of Steve's workshop are absolutely gorgeous. Pink for those guys. This is the yarrow. Looking fantastic. Some of the brassicas are suffering for different reasons, mostly heat, watering, but they'll be okay. There's caterpillars are starting to come, so I will spray these with the bacillus stuff. I can never know how to pronounce that. Just checking if the rosemary's got any beetles on, but that one looks okay. It's a different type of rosemary to the traditional one. Oh, and another thing to show you, finally got my little herb bed, the trough replanted. This had sage in it that had just gone far too old and woody and time for the same. I could have rescued them a bit younger, I think, from what you guys were saying, but I've got a huge sage plant out the front, so I'm quite happy with that. Do need to get another thyme plant though, because we do enjoy thyme. So I'm going to keep on with these peas and try and get them up to the next level. I've harvested quite a few, which I shall pod this evening, so they can go straight into the freezer, and then hopefully we can just stay on top of them that way and keep them in the freezer, and you can just scoop some out when you're ready for some. There's absolutely tons, which is fantastic, so no, they won't all get eaten right now. And I've fed the pigs 2 courgettes, so that they can have a couple of courgettes each day from those big ones, and then the rest will be coming in the kitchen. Sorry pigs, but for now I think that's probably just a quick enough catch up in the garden. I did say that our vlog video might be out before this one or after this one, I can't remember which way around. Anyway, if it's not out yet, it'll be coming out soon. Had to do a bit of fancy jig work with some editing there because YouTube wasn't happy. But anyway, I'm going to go and say good night because it is getting much later now. The sun is pretty much about going down behind the houses, so I'm going to finish this off and head inside.